All right, welcome back. On RealCopStoriesVideos.com, we have 355 stories, 7 to 10 minutes. It's gross, alerts, fun stuff, vice, narcotics, gangs, foot pursuits, car chases. Look them up. In addition to that, on the same website, we have 124, all right, I got it, answers to questions. And right now we have a long-term question about supervision. Hopefully I'll get done pretty soon. But look them up, they're pretty good. And if you want to ask me a question, we're getting questions in all the time. Email me at rsbcopstories@gmail.com, and I'll answer you these questions that were coming in. I answer them directly, right back to them on this site. Okay, so and we might, if I get enough of them, I might, in fact we will, answer them on tape, and then way everybody else can see what we're talking about here. Okay, so now we're at 9/11. Okay, and so I have to go off track here down the line because things happen here. Okay, so 9/11 hit. We were told to stay home. I called in. I figured something was up, obviously, and so they told us they're mobilizing, 9,000 of us. Okay, imagine the logistical nightmare there. But most of the ones, put it this way, half of that is patrol. I said earlier, Uniform Patrol have their own playbook. They'll open that thing up and they'll have cops everywhere, patrolling everywhere. And so what they're looking at is the 400 plus narcotic officers. What do you do with us? What do you do? Okay. Unfortunately, incompetence breeds more incompetence. Prior to this, they had combined our department with the transit officers, which was basically trains and the metro system. There were officers in there, so they combined it because we wanted to cover that. They wanted to come into us and all that good stuff. Well, unfortunately, in the mix, they promoted a sergeant from that unit into a captain. Now, I don't understand that at all. That was unprecedented. And the reason why he was probably a sergeant, because really at one time was only in charge of about 15 people. Now he's in charge of about 200 and some. Okay, incompetent, never worked narcotics, horrible man. Another mistake. Okay, and our department finally figured it out, and the last 10 years he's been stuck in some inside job in a hole somewhere because they know he's incompetent. Everything he touched turned to crap, and we could have told him that the first week he was there. But anyway, so continuing on this little off track. Okay, the year before that, this is how petty you can get. When we do search warrants, we don't normally call dogs to come and sniff. I have sniffers. I have guys that get on all fours and go all over the place. Well, I guess the sergeant in charge of the dogs was upset because he wasn't getting any work. Nobody was calling him. It's a narcotic sniffing dog, goes out on patrol calls, but narcotics weren't calling him. So he started complaining that, these guys are doing warrants, and we were doing the most warrants, so he complained about us. So I got called in with my lieutenant, and the captain's, this is the kind of guy that if you get to him first, you win you got him. You won't listen to anybody else. He had a couple like ass kissers around him, sergeants, that would go in there and, oh, and one of the guys, to this day, if I saw him, I'd have to hold back because my Latino comes out, I want to smack him, okay? I want to, in the words of my era, I want to bitch slap him because that's what they were, okay? Anyway, so we have no idea why we're there. And so this sergeant's standing, well, you don't call for warrants, and they look at me because I'm in charge of the search warrants, and I go, well, we don't need you. Boy, he didn't like that at all, the sergeant of dog handlers. Well, you can always use a dog. He said, no, not really. So the captain, since he already got the captain's ear, says, well, you need to call the dog handlers, and this banner is unacceptable. And we're having a meeting and discussing what we need. I don't need these dogs. They get in the way. I don't need them. You need to be calling the dog handler. Okay, fine. So, this is the kind of guy he was. Did this several times. Not to me, but to other guys. So, fast forward. I'm going to go off on that link. Fast forward. This incident hits. He's in charge of about 225 of the 400 narcotic officers. And they're trying to figure out what to do with this. They don't know what to do. Okay. And a friend of mine called and said that at headquarters, when this was going on, the place was a mess. I mean, you had people running back and forth. They didn't know what to do. They're getting calls from downtown. They're getting calls from other captains. All the brass is calling and saying, what are you doing? And our guys are saying, in defense of our guys, what do you want us to do? They don't know. We have no plan. Patrol has a playbook. Open up page 47. Here's what we do. Flood, disaster, robberies, riots. This is what we do. It's all here. Even unusual occurrence, which is what this was called. It's a biggie. It's a catch-all. It's all in the book. We have no book. Okay? So we're basically doing it from scratch. Now, thank goodness it worked out that they had some stable brains in there that sat down in this chaos and figured out what we were going to do. Okay, this is what we're going to do. And I'm sorry that I have to keep changing pages here, but I wrote this, have so much information here, I want to make sure I get it all out. Okay, so they decided we were running squads anyway. Okay, so it makes sense that we should have squads that, oh, and by the way, as another side note, the department had a organized crime unit. That's what they called it at the time. There was basically an intelligence unit. All they do is monitor. They look at newspaper clippings. They watch for people coming into town that may be suspicious. They don't really do anything in the sense where they don't go undercover like all these TV shows where they go on deep cover. No. They're on the peripheral. They look out for tips and clues on people that may be involved in something, but they don't do any kind of undercover work at all. They probably had like maybe 80 people in there, maybe different ranks. Well, when this hit, all the department saw intelligence in there. They pointed to them and said, we need you in here. And they said, okay, fine. So they decide, all these powers to be decided that since we're already running squads, that we're going to have, the FBI's coming in and giving us information. We have all these targets, hundreds of targets. Most of these people from Middle East, 30 to 40 years old on student visas. This is where our immigration systems come to. 30 to 40-year-olds I vouch for those because we follow those people. Student visas, what are you talking about? You either come here and you get your degree by age 25 and get the hell out. You don't sit here for 20 years, then you bleed into the society, sucking out all the resources that we have, and then you say, well, gee, I've been here for 30 years. Oh, okay, since you got away with it, you can stay. This is nuts. Anyway, I'm going off again. So the FBI's calling us because they know we have resources to follow people. So what the bottom line is, they put us in squads to follow suspicious characters. I don't know how I can say that. And when I say suspicious characters, I don't mean we're going to follow Norwegian fishermen, okay? And that means we're going to follow, Australian shrimp farmers, okay? We're going to follow Mideastern people with mats out to prey at 2 in the afternoon with headscarves and dots in the middle of their forehead or not. Doesn't really matter. That's what we're going to follow. That's the way it is. You can't put. They tiptoed the whole time. Real potential suspect. No, they don't want to. You don't want to use the word profile. It really isn't the word profile. Did Norwegians bomb the planes? Did Canadians? No, we're looking for a specific group of people. So that they had FBI and these people had lists of people that they were just like monitoring. That's what they monitor, not criminals. So they gave us all. So that's what we came up with. So the next day, they told us to come to work during the day, and we met in a huge roll call room. There must have been, there was about 180 of us in there, 200 of us in there. And this captain comes out. Now you would think that if you had 18 squads, which we had, of about 8 to 10 each, that pretty much covers all the 200 almost. You would think that, okay, here the squads are ready. We'll just give you cars. We'll assign you people to look at, and you already have your squads established, and we'll assign you supervised lieutenants, and you go out and do your thing. Oh no! They had to. It looked like a bingo game. They put all the balls in a bowl, and here's a top step. Here's a top step. Here's one of your employees. Here's another employee. What? So they formed a 10-person squad of a top step senior to me. He's the boss, and then me, and then 8 people we don't even know to make a squad to follow people. Oh my gosh! And we're like, why don't we just keep the squads we have? They know who we are. They work together. Oh no! This is very important. So they don't know that part. They dropped the ball, so to speak. They could have just kept everybody in position, just reassign us. Real simple. No. They had to muddy the works. Well, I found out later on the reason why they muddied the works. This is what they did. Again, on a side note here again, these 2 sergeants that were the earpiece to this incompetent captain, they had vendettas against certain top steps. Okay. Myself, why? Me too? I don't know why. Well, because the dog guy didn't like me. He was a supervisor. That little thing that I said that we don't need the dogs came back to bite me, but then again, it didn't bite me. It actually helped me. That'll go way down the line here. But anyway, so what they did was they got the guys they didn't like and put them together and gave them all new people. And the guys they liked kept them with their squads they had. Can you imagine? So just because of your own personal vendetta and whatever, you decided to take it upon yourself to do this, okay? And the captain, I'll put it this way. You ever watch MASH, the old MASH, McLean Stevenson? Okay, this makes McLean Stevenson look like a genius. This guy is so bad, it's unbelievable. At least McLean Stevens kind of went out once in a while and drank with the guys and goofed off and all that. This guy didn't. Oh, it was horrible. I mean, you got an international incident, a national incident for the United States of America, and he's just sitting there like he doesn't have a clue. He just doesn't know. He just does not. I could have walked in there and ran that thing 20 times better than him, and I'm just a lowly top step. I have stripes. I don't have bars. Anyway, so okay, fine. So we meet in this huge room. They're calling out names. You know, 2 top steps. Go over there. Here comes your squad. All these guys. So all these guys are in there. And eventually, everybody's paired up to their squads. We got 8 faces looking at us. Eyes this big. You know. The only 2 people that know how to follow anybody is my top step, which we work together. We're both top steps. My boss and me. We worked together for 6 years in surveillance. I'm teaching it. He took off and worked another squad with surveillance. And that's it. We got 8 people here. Now, this affects this directly, me directly, and my supervisor. Call my supervisor. He's my supervisor, even though we're equal rank. Following people is very, very difficult. It's very, you know, you watch TV, you watch all these shows, and you know, you see the guys following somebody, you know, like 3 cars behind them, making 3-4 turns, going down the street, and the crook never even sees them. Okay, that's a bunch of crap. Okay, it's a bunch of crap. You need at least 10 people to follow 1 car, because every time that guy makes a turn, the car that's following him has to go on by. New car has to appear. Remember how that does that? Someone's driving down a normal street. Yourself, when you go to the store, count how many turns you make. For me, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 turns just to go to the market, which is like a mile away, 2 miles away. 5 turns. That's 5 cars. Every time I make a turn, that car that's behind me has to keep on going. And the next car comes up. That's how you do it. Very difficult to follow and not be seen and not be identified, because you're trying to keep the case cool. If you're following narcotics, obviously you want to. Even if you're following, I taught classes where we follow robbery suspects, burglary suspects. They'll get hinky. They'll look around, especially when they're getting ready to do a caper. They'll look around for tail. You know, and you don't use a helicopter that much because they're hard to get that asset. But anyway, so now then they hand, I'll call him my partner, my buddy, or whatever, a list. All right, here's some, you know, a dozen people. Here's their alleged addresses. And you just start following them. Well, all we want to do is intelligence. Who do they meet? Where do they go? License plates, addresses, because they're trying to come up with this huge flow chart, probably as big as a building downtown, where they're trying to connect everything because they're getting ready maybe for the next one. Remember now, this is like the day after 9/11. So we're expecting, kind of like, I use my history books, but kind of like Pearl Harbor. Pearl Harbor expected an attack that night. They expected an invasion the next day, if you look at your history books. They thought there'd be another wave of planes coming in. The Japanese turned and left, which they could have easily come in. We had nothing to stop them. And then the next day and days following, we expected an invasion. And our carriers came in, so that helped. Air cover went up. We finally regained our senses. So we as a department are expecting problems the next day or days after. So it's okay. So we're not ready for this. Okay, we're just starting brand new. Okay, so anyway, so we met. We looked at the players. We asked anyone. Went off to our own room. Does anybody have any surveillance experience? You know, and again, the brass seems to think that you can just put people together and go out and follow people. It's like saying, okay, we're going to teach you how to fold an envelope, and we expect you to fold 5,000 envelopes a minute or whatever. You know, this is human beings. I've always said, good surveillance people are not born. They're made, okay? They're made. So I'll go into that next. A whole new squad, not even a new squad, and a non-knowing group of guys and one girl that we had to train. So I'll come back in a little bit. Okay? Thank you very much. Bye-bye.